fighting. Yeah, man. Yeah, this is a spiritual message, more or less. But I will be getting into many matters concerning fighting, and yeah, I will be implementing myself, but also just overall, just talking about fighting and yeah, spiritual aspects to it, and also just being transparent about me and just fighting overall. Yeah, yeah, you're gonna get many things in this much revelation, much revelation. Yeah, yeah. I'm getting into this matter. Yeah, about to get into this, and yeah, fighting. See, here's the thing about fighting. I mean, man, I've already mentioned certain things in some form of way before, but see, I'm about to get into this because see, fighting is, fighting is like, see, this is the thing about fighting. Fighting is necessary for, defending yourself, and fighting overall is just, that's really all it's necessary for, is defending yourself and fighting for the right things too, And I'm gonna get into a lot of matters. Yeah, yeah. But fighting overall is not. This is not something to be like praised, or something to. This is not something to just be doing to do it. To do it or do. That's what I'm trying to say. No. Fighting is something that's necessary to defend yourself. And if it's truly necessary for fighting for the right things and the right circumstances. But see, yeah, overall fighting though. I'm not really like. How can I explain? Like, there's so many matters concerning this. That's why I'm just being transparent with this stuff. But fighting is just, it's not really, once again, it's not to be praised, is what I'm trying to say. But fighting for the right things, fighting for, defending yourself, and just for the right circumstances, yeah, it is necessary in those cases. But other than that, there are demons attached to fighting and all that deep stuff. That's what you gotta understand about fighting. And yeah, overall, the enemy does play a role in this, a huge role in, the behind the scenes with this fighting stuff, believe it or not. And see, overall, where I stand at with this fighting, yeah, I already know about this stuff. And yeah, being transparent, yeah, I've partaken in this stuff, in a certain timeline and all that stuff. Yeah. And it was for the right things. That's why I know what I'm talking about concerning this stuff. I do. But this is not really about me. This is just overall about fighting and the spiritual aspects to it and all that deep stuff. But yeah, just being transparent. Yeah, I have partaken in this, and it's truly just not necessary unless, once again, you're defending yourself and it's for the right cause, and it's for something worth it, really, concerning situation. You're fighting for the right things, for freedom, or you're fighting for, once again, to defend yourself, or, it's just truly necessary, like, concerning stuff coming up against you, and once again, just defending yourself. But other than that, it's not necessary, because once again, people who are just fighting to fight and all that stuff, and just, they want to like make scenes and just start stuff and all that stuff. No. See, that's what I'm saying. These demons are very much attached to that stuff. And yeah, these people will be reaping what they sow, for these people who just, start fights, and, they get a rush out of fighting and all that stuff. No, see, that's the thing about this stuff. Excuse me. And no, see, fighting, when it comes to that matter, see, that's what I'm saying. It's just not, that stuff is not valid, is what I'm saying, because fighting should not be praised. It should not be praised or anything. But overall, fighting, yeah, it is a very like necessary thing when it comes to like defending yourself, and if it's like for the right reasons, and once again, as being led by the spirit, but also mellow speak. Warrior type fights, yeah, those are always valid too. When it comes to like, fighting for the right stuff, that's what this stuff um, is getting into. And that's what I'm trying to get into concerning fighting. I mean, yeah, when you're fighting for the right stuff, you know, you're defending like, somebody who can't fully like, you know, you're defending basically somebody who is like, just like, I want to say less, like, they're, I want to say you're fighting for the right things and for the right reasons, and like fighting to like basically just like for somebody that is like less capable is what I'm trying to say, something in that nature, and they're being done wrong, and yeah, stuff like that, and you're like, fighting for your freedom in a situation, or you're fighting to handle business concerning somebody trying to take advantage of you or something like that. Yeah. See, this is when fighting is necessary and all that stuff. But, you're fighting to defend, your family or something like that, your brother, your sister, anything in that nature. Yeah. Yeah. And stuff is coming up against you, on a physical level and all this stuff. Yeah. Yeah. That's when fighting is necessary. And you gotta handle your business or whatnot, you know what I'm saying? But see, as I'm being led by the Spirit, I mean, other than that though, no, fighting is not necessary, because once again, demons are attached to fighting. And see, you people who just get a rush out of this stuff, and you're so intrigued by this fighting stuff, and you want to you got demons in you and you want to take them out on others, all this deep stuff. No. See, this is this is where this stuff gets very not only toxic, but demons are in the midst of this. And see, you just reap what you sow when it comes to this type of stuff. When it comes to you trying to fight just to fight, and there's no real cause, nobody's done nothing to you, and you're still just trying to fight and all that stuff. See, this is when you reap what you sow. God gets you, and the devil is just overall laughing about the matter, if I'm being real. Because see, the devil, he even knows this stuff that I'm telling you. Whether you believe the stuff or not, this stuff is spiritual, more or less. But overall, what I'm saying is too, yeah, I mean, fighting, yeah, it is necessary concerning, like, once again, defending yourself for the right cause, harm coming your way, all this deep stuff. Yeah. It is necessary for that stuff, and defending, once again, family, or, somebody you love, or somebody who is less capable, and, things in that nature. But overall, like, fighting just to fight, and, all this other stuff, people trying to like make a scene and trying to oppress others, all this stuff. See, that stuff is going to be dealt with by the God of Israel. I'm being very real, because it's not a game. It's not a joke. Like, you people who take this as a light matter and don't believe in demons and all that stuff. I mean, you're just going to see the stuff for yourself. It doesn't even matter how you feel about this, because you will see the stuff for yourself. And then others, you will be oblivious to it. But, you're still going to see this for yourself, one form, way or another. I'm just being very real. But anyhow, I mean, yeah, fighting, and how I feel about this stuff, mellow speaking and all that stuff too. I mean, yeah, I don't like, see, the thing is, I don't have any problems with, when it comes to like, like I said, fighting for the right reasons and all that deep stuff. But overall, I'm just not into that stuff in a way. I'm being very real. But yeah, I mean, once again, I have partaken in it and all that deep stuff too, in a certain timeline and all that stuff. But overall, I'm just not really for that stuff. No, if I'm being real, me being transparent, I mean, nah. But see, you get these certain individuals who like take pride in it, and like they just try to find an identity with it. And that's what I'm trying to tell you. Mellow speaking, like, I'm into that warrior type fights, like stuff that maybe like martial arts, or like I'm into fighting for the right reasons, like, putting a bully in his place too. Yeah, I'm into stuff like that too. Yeah, believe it or not, you know, I am into stuff like that because God is against bullies. That's what you got to realize. And bullies will be in hell, the lake of fire too, all that stuff, So yeah, bullies got to be really just, they got to be, I want to say, not only taught a lesson, but they got to be put in their place, because that bully stuff is not no joke. And I'm totally against that. I'm totally against you who you can even hear this too. Yeah. You're part of that. Yeah, I'm against you, being very real. And God is against you on a very more higher capacity. And the devil is he's behind the matters of, you people, you beings are part of that stuff. You people who just like start stuff, and all that deep stuff. But yeah, getting back into fighting, I mean, yeah, I'm into like taking a stand against a bully or taking a stand against, different things for the right reasons. But other than that, no, I'm not with that fighting stuff, I'm more about fighting for the right things once again, and just warrior fights, fighting for a cause, fighting to like, fighting for the right cause and for the right reasons, and when it's truly, truly necessary. That's truly who I am concerning when it comes to this fighting stuff, But yeah, yeah, overall, that's where I stand at with this stuff, and just who I truly am when it comes to this. Fighting is necessary to defend yourself, though, and to fight for the right reasons, to fight for the right cause. Other than that, though, it's not really necessary unless, once again, you got to handle business and all this stuff. But see, this stuff gets very deep, and once again, it is spiritual stuff concerning this matter, and demons are attached to fighting. So, I'm not really a part of this stuff, is what I'm telling you. I'm not for it, more or less. But warrior fights and fighting to go higher and some martial arts stuff, or, fighting to learn certain techniques. Yeah, I'm a part of that shit. Yeah, I am. I'm very much part of it, believe it or not. And yeah, I do fuck with that stuff. I'm being real. But all this other stuff, these people like fighting to fight, and even females, as I'm getting closer to closing this out, but females fighting to fight and pull each other's hair and want to see gore, and you males who want to see gore, all that stuff. Yeah, you're part of the enemy concerning that stuff, and I just don't have any parts in that. I'm not for that stuff. I'm not for that part of things, I want to say. And I'm not for that stuff, is what I'm saying. And yeah, of course you will be judged, and God is going to deal with this this type of matter, and he already is what you got to understand. And yeah, I mean, overall fighting is, like I said, I've already mentioned the things of how I see the stuff, and how God more or less sees the stuff too. Yeah, because he does see it in a similar way too, but he has his own deeper views on it as well. But it's very similar to what I've already told you as well. Yeah, humbly speaking, it is. I already know, but he has his own other numerous of ways of like dealing with this stuff and just viewing it too. But with all that being said, though, yeah, I mean, fighting is necessary for the right cause, and then overall it's just not valid for anything more. It's nothing more, nothing less when it comes to this fighting stuff. But this will bear witness with who it's meant to bear witness with, really, concerning God's people. Everybody else outside of that, you will not believe a message like this, and you will carry out these certain things, but you will reap where you sow. And if you're on the ill will of things concerning this fighting stuff, yeah, I mean, the devil is just laughing at you, and he is using you too as well. That's what you got to realize. And yeah, a lot of you who don't come out of this stuff, yeah, you will be a part of him. That's all I'm going to say concerning this. You will be a part of the enemy, as a lot of you are, who are ill will with this fighting stuff. And yeah, get prepared for many dark places with the enemy. You people who just don't come out of this, and you want to start stuff with people, all that stuff. Yeah, you are the people and beings I'm talking about. But with all that being said, yeah, I'm out.